Welcome to our Best Youth platform, where youth are empowered. This is the Youth Road Show, and my name is Mashipe Emily. Dear audience, remember there is a new face right now. I will be doing this with Sir Quinto to keep on empowering you. Our show today is about an aspect that has been affecting our girls there back in the society, and this is FGM. Right here with me is an anti-FGM practitioner. Welcome, sir, to the show, to our broadcast, and start by introducing yourself.
Thank you so much. My name is Michael Kishoyan. I'm a youth leader in that I'm the chairperson SAIF group of Mount Kenya University. I'm also the vice chairperson of Youth Transform International, and as you've heard, I'm an anti-FGM practitioner, an anti-FGM campaigner in Narok County and in Kenya at large. I'm also volunteering in the UNESCO, that is United Nations Society, Social, Cultural and Education Organization. I'm also part of the Global Youth Consortium Against Female Genital Mutilation. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for making time with us here. Right away to the business of the day. What is FGM?
Okay. According to the World Health Organization, that is the WHO, female genital mutilation, because FGM in full is female genital mutilation. And according to the World Health Organization, FGM is the partial or total removal of the female genitalia for non-medical purposes. Yeah. So, which means that FGM is done to a young girl, but there is nowhere in the World Health Organization that FGM is recognized as a medical or as a medical practice. Yeah.
And by the way, how did FGM start?
Okay. FGM, it is believed that female genital mutilation started 2,000 years ago. That was practiced by the ancient Egyptians as a way of trying to keeping their women virgins, keeping their women from being promiscuous, and also they also believed that female genital mutilation will help these young girls when they become women in terms of giving birth to healthy children. So it is believed that FGM started 2,000 years ago.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have had a lot of organizations coming up fighting against FGM, but we see that FGM is still being practiced. Why do you think so, that FGM is still being carried out?
One, amid all the campaigns against female genital mutilation, there is still an upsurge of female genital mutilation recorded cases. We still have the prevalence at a high percentage in various communities. Now, it depends on which specific area the female genital mutilation is being practiced. In that, we might be in Nairobi, we might be preaching or campaigning against female genital mutilation, but back there in Narok County, in the interior parts of Narok County, there is still the female genital mutilation that is going on. So we also have the proximity perspective coming in that how near are these organizations to the areas where female genital mutilation is happening. It's also we have the ignorance of people. We have ignorance of people that because we are in Kenya, or we are humans in the whole of the world, and in these places where FGM is being carried, or even the entire world, let me say so, people do tend to say that rules are meant to be broken. You find that you are told not to cross this border, but you still find people crossing it. So they really want to show that they are superior, they know what to be done, you know. So you find that the ignorance is still high among these communities that practice female genital mutilation. And now also we have the seriousness of these organizations that that are really fighting the cat. You know, you find that some people, some organizations just come up to show themselves that they are campaigning against female genital mutilations. So you find them in big hotels here in Nairobi, you find them in big hotels in Nakuru or anywhere else, trying to discuss, to deliberate on which strategies to to put across on curbing FGM. And you find that implementation of these strategies is still a challenge to some of the people or to some of the organizations. Another challenge why we are facing as far as we are campaigning against female genital mutilation is that the economic state of these communities. You find that the cause number one of female genital mutilation is poverty. And if you try to look at the perspective of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, we find the zero hunger that is becoming number two, and number one is no poverty. So you see that the United Nations is really trying to advocate for these SDGs. And now the communities that let me back on the communities that practice female genital mutilation. Which communities are these? Number one, we have the Maasai. Okay. Number two, we have number one, the leading community practicing FGM is the Somali, which is at 93%. Okay. We have the Maasai community. We have the Kuria. We have the Meru, and also we have the Samburu and the Turkana. And then the Pokot community is also practicing female genital mutilation at a high percentage. So you find that these communities are really at a lower state as compared to other communities, like the Agikuyu. The Agikuyu community, they are financially stable, they are financially far ahead if you try to compare with these other communities. So the economic state of these communities, because the circumcisers, if you ask the circumciser, why are you doing this? They will tell you, I'm doing this to earn a living. I'm doing this to get something to give to my children. You find that carrying mutilation or mutilating or cutting one girl is at around it's $2 or $20, you know, $20 US. That is closely to 2,000 shillings in Kenya. So you find that economic imbalance is really bringing to the fact that we have a high prevalence of female genital mutilations amid the campaigns, the serious campaigns that we are running. Thank you. Back to you.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you have witnessed or heard someone talk to you about FGM. What are the consequences of FGM?
The consequences of FGM are so diverse, depending on which type of female or the cat have the girl undergone. We have three main examples or three main types of FGM. We have, number one, we have the clitoridectomy, which is the partial or total removal of the clitoris of the girl. We also have the excision and then infibulation, which is the narrowing of the female genitalia. So you find that these specific types of FGM have their own consequences. Number one, the obvious one is pain. It's so painful because we do not have any anesthesia that is being used by the cutter or the circumciser. It's not medical. And also we also have the issue of shock. According to the Anti-FGM Board of Kenya, we have shock as the consequence number 2 of this child. Remember, we are in Kenya. Let us talk about Kenya. We have the age of consent of children. This is 16 to 18 years. You find that these young people are not consulted what should be done to them. It's not on their consent that they should pass through FGM, and you find that this catches them at a surprise. A girl is taken by force and mutilated. This girl will be under shock. Number 3, we also have excessive bleeding. Excessive bleeding in that this girl bleeds a lot because we are cutting. This is a wound that is coming to the body. Number 3 is difficulty in giving birth. And I can just take it back. I can just at least let us just have a deep conversation about this. This is a permanent wound that you're putting in this girl. Now, if you try to see, having the menses, this girl experiences a lot of pain. Number 2, while having sexual intercourse, if this girl gets married, remember this is a permanent wound that is put on this girl. When having intercourse with the husband, it is so painful, and to some extent it results to bleeding. And now it comes to giving birth. It's really traumatizing. It's really hard for a lady that has been mutilated to give birth. You find that it has been narrowed. It has been narrowed. The passage has been narrowed, and you find that when the child is trying to push itself out of the uterus, you find that it is difficult for the child to push. The child pushes until it becomes weak, and you find that the child dies. You find that the doctors now have to use the cesarean section to help this woman, to help this girl deliver. And another consequence is when a young boy is circumcised, because we say that boys are circumcised and girls are cut or mutilated. When boys are circumcised, they are told, now wake up because you've become a man. And now what is a lady told? What's a young girl told? Now wake up because you've become what? A woman. What can a woman do? A woman will decide what will happen to her. And now you find that this girl indulges herself into sexual acts with young boys, with other boys or men, because she's a woman. And now this is where the issue of teen pregnancies comes in. After teen pregnancies, let us just take a case study of the Maasai community. Once a girl is mutilated, or once a girl is pregnant, there was the old men will now see cows, will now see a bride price, we now see dowry. That's what they see. They don't see education ahead of this girl. Despite the fact that this girl was in school, now she has become pregnant. The father is now looking at dowry, because this is a woman. She has become a woman already, and now it now comes to the point of early marriages, and you find that young boys are not ready to marry. Who will marry this young girl? It is the old men. You find that old men, the father of this girl goes to his friend and tells his friend that I have a young girl to give you. What can you offer? I have 50 or I have 20 heads of cattle. You know, and which is really bad. It is eating our girls in school. It's really making our girls become truant in schools. Now, one last thing, or the last but not the least, the consequences of FGM is fistula. We have been having a lot of ladies suffering from fistula, a complication that is really shameful to these women. I do not want to go further into details, but fistula is a result. It's a result of FGM. FGM really causes an upsurge of cases of fistula. Then the last consequence is death. Obvious. There are some instances where girls have died because of female genital mutilation. One, because of excessive bleeding. Remember, we are not medicalizing this thing. There is no anesthesia, as I said before. So excessive bleeding, it occurs. This girl loses a lot of blood. She becomes dehydrated and eventually dies. Because, you know, the circumciser is just a traditional circumciser. There is nothing else besides circumcising the girl. There's nothing else besides cutting the girl. Her work is just to cut the girl and then leave it. No any other medicalization to prevent further complications of FGM. Her work is just to cut and then walk away. What will happen to this girl if she bleeds? And then we've also been having the issues of giving birth. Women have died because of giving birth complications that has resulted to FGM. Thank you.
Just to go back, you've said something that has just concerned, that you said that women are mutilated and men are circumcised, and there are some communities that consider that women are also circumcised. So what can you tell the society about girls?
Okay, you know, circumcision is a rite of passage.
Yeah.
As I said before, men are circumcised, boys are circumcised. Let us look at the biblical perspective of it. Abraham was circumcised at the age of 99 years. There is nowhere the Bible quotes Sarah was circumcised. We don't have those records in the Bible. So we say the girl is cut, the girl is mutilated. What is mutilation? Mutilation is just to do something in a very predicament or that in a very mysterious way that will result to more disastrous predicament. Women, I just want to bring into the distinction between cut and circumcision. We find that circumcision nowadays, it's medicalized. Boys go to hospital, and then they are circumcised from there. Where are girls mutilated? Inside the houses, inside bushes. Which means this is something that is illegal. This is something that is not authorized. Yeah.
All right. Sir Kishoyan, and we have different organizations fighting this FGM.
Yeah.
And one of the organizations is the UNEFPA. What is the approach of the UNEFPA towards FGM?
Oh, thank you so much. You know, we are dealing with this is an international, or this is a global pandemic, FGM. We even have female genital mutilation happening in the UK. We have female genital mutilation happening in Botswana, happening in Kenya, happening in Uganda, everywhere. The FGM caught the United Nations attention. So the United Nations, I just want to bring into the distinction and also the classification of the UN into the SDGs. We have the SDGs, those are the Sustainable Development Goals. Number 1 is no poverty. Number 2 is zero hunger. Number 3 is quality education. Number 4 is good health, and then number 5 is gender equality. So you find that the UNFPA, that is the United Nations Population Fund, is dealing with the gender equality. SDG number 5, SDG number 10, which is reduced inequality. Also we have, so the United Nations Population Fund, that is the UNFPA, is really engaging the youth in trying to bring in the ideas, setting the policies, the strategies that can be used to at least approach and tackle the female genital mutilation. We have the United Nations Population Fund, the UNFPA Youth Advisory Panel, which is whose chairperson is Leshan Kereto. You find that these people, they have come together. We also have the likes of Stephen Siwa, we have the likes of Lillian Kosgei, we have Tony Olela in the panel. So you find that all these people are the youth. The United Nations, I once attended the United Nations General Assembly in New York, and they were saying that the youth have brilliant ideas in that they can do something. They have ideas that at least can approach and promote these sustainable development goals. So UNFPA is an agency by the United Nations. The country representative of whom is exiting is Ademola Olajide from Nigeria. So he has really fought. He has really promoted the issue about female genital mutilations campaigns by bringing in the what we call the Kata Katisha Zuia, and also the Ushanga initiative. We have the Ushanga initiative that was brought by the UNFPA. In that Ushanga initiative was it was an approach. It was an economical tact to curb the female genital mutilation by empowering these women whom we call the circumcisers economically. You find that the argument is, as I said before, is what are my children going to eat? They want money. So the Ushanga initiative by the UNFPA was to empower these women economically so that they can at least shun FGM and then come to the side of Ushanga initiative, where the beadwork was being done. They decorate a lot of things, and also they promoted the Kata Katisha Zuia initiative or slogan which was brought also by the youth. Yeah, Kata is just to refuse it, and then Katisha is I'm now talking to my international audience, is that Kata is refusing, and then Katisha is to how can I say it, to stop, and then Zuia is just to avoid these consequences that come along with the FGM. Yeah, thank you.
So what do you think will be the lasting solution to end FGM?
Okay, the lasting solutions. One, I would like first of all to go back before I answer that question. I would like to also go back to quote the partnerships that the UNFPA has done to curb FGM. You know, the United Nations Population Fund, it's not only dealing with Kenya, it's dealing with a diverse society. It has brought in the organization like the Anti-FGM Board of Kenya, that is headed by Madam Loloju. And then we also have Tareto Africa has also been there. We have these young organizations that have been formed by young people, like Tareto Africa, of which I belong. Is headed by Leshan Kereto also. We also have the Sauti Dada Africa, that is headed by, we have Lillian Kosgei. We also have the IREP Foundation that is headed by Domtila Chesang. So the UNFPA has brought all these people together so that they can at least partner in trying to go deep inside the interior parts of Kenya, and then try to educate the people, to educate the audience on the side effects of FGM. Now back to this question: how can we end the lasting solution to FGM? One, a problem identified is a problem half solved. So we have first of all to accept the fact that FGM is there. It still is being practiced by these communities that we come from. It is there. So we first of all have to at least attest to the fact that FGM is there. How can we deal with it now? One, the main cause of FGM is lack of understanding, is lack of information. These are young girls who are being mutilated. We have the age of 9 years to 15 years. These are young people. They have not even attained that age of consent that is stipulated by the Kenyan Constitution. So we first of all have to educate these young people about their rights, that indeed they can speak out and be heard. There are a lot of people now fighting the FGM. FGM has now been fought. Each and everybody is coming in, and we would like to encourage everybody to come in so that we can run this race against the blade together. So we have first of all to educate the people, to educate these young girls that indeed I can stand strong, I have my rights, I have my life, and I have my future. That can be brought to book by speaking out. Yeah, so we have first of all to teach these young people that indeed it is their right not to be mutilated, and then bring an informed society from the grassroots and raising them. And you know, this is now a place where we shall be raising the anti-FGM ambassadors from kindergarten. We go to the lower primary, we go to the higher primary, go to the high school, and even the camp or the tertiary institution level. We shall be having an informed society whereby we shall be saying indeed FGM is a no-go zone. Indeed FGM is nothing to be done. There is nothing to be done to FGM but just to end it and avoid it at all costs. Also, we shall have people, you know, it's very easy for a child to educate the parent. You know, in the Maasai community they say that a child can see enemies, whereas the parent has not seen. So a young person, a young girl who has been informed about the dangers of FGM will now tell the parent that, Daddy or Mommy, this FGM is something that is not good to us, is something that is not good to my younger sisters, to my younger nieces and nephews. Yeah.
As we part it short, what's your advice to the audience concerning FGM?
My advice is, one, you have to stand your ground when speaking against FGM, when speaking against any form of gender-based violence. You know, FGM is a form of gender-based violence. So any person can fight FGM. Any person can fight against GBV. If you have any information about a child who is being harassed, who is being mutilated by force, you can reach out to people. You can reach out to governments, local people like the chiefs. you can reach out to the teachers, you can reach out to the pastors, these people who are close to you. Yeah, and also we have to incorporate, you have to join hands together. The Tareto Africa, the UNFPA, the Anti-FGM board, and I would like to laud the work that is being done by Tareto Africa and also the Anti-FGM board of Kenya. Yesterday, they were in Egerton University and trying to bring in the idea of Students Against Female Genital Mutilation initiative. That is the SAFI, and which I really loved that work. We can also come together as the university students and join hands in fighting this menace, in fighting this cut, because it is being done to our young sisters, to our young nephews, young nieces, I mean, or rather young nieces. So it's something that we should come up together. Let's join hands and end FGM. Together we can, and together we will. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, sir, for honoring our invitation here. I'm so much sure that you have enlightened the society today. My gratitude to God who has enabled such a day bright for me, our producers are Quinto, our camera person, and you as the viewers. Keep watching our programs, we have much packed for you. Youth Root Show, empowering youth for a better future. Goodbye, till next time.